Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. It's been a few months, right? I know a lot of you guys have been like, Burnout, what the hell have you been up to? Burnout, you doing all right? Life got in the way, guys. Simple answer, life got in the way. For those of you that know, last year in November, this is currently the middle of December 2025 when we're recording this, but last year in November, I left a motorcycle club that I've been with for 10 years. So that changed a lot of things in life. I know some of you guys noticed the t-shirts I were wearing looked a little different. Some stuff just said Burnout. Didn't have patches on it, that kind of stuff. We move on, we live and we learn, right? Well, also, I think in the last video I told you guys that my youngest, Shelby, turned 18. And I think the last time she was headed to prom in this Chrysler was probably the last video we did. Prom went well. Maybe I'll eventually get the stuff from that put together and show you guys how it went, but it was good. In the meantime, after 20 years at my job, I had been told that my position was going to be eliminated in August. So I was doing a lot of scurrying, looking at finding a job, figuring out what I wanted to do in the next steps. The big thing, the important thing I did was take a break. Sit back, take a breath. I got a severance package from my company, so I didn't have to panic. Still needed to figure things out because it's not some giant executive severance package. It was a small one, but it worked. Figure some things out. And one thing I had always wanted to do is be a consultant and help other companies and other people set up robust systems like I had done at the company I was at, and actually the two companies before that even. So I had spent the better part of 30 years helping build robust systems, whether it was as a tier 1 with Ford and setting it up internally with my company and working as the first tier 1 beta tester with Ford and the software package they were using back then. Doing those kinds of things, building multiple systems at my last company. We went from paper-based to one system, from that system to another system, and then from that second actual system into a third. And the wrap-up of that was basically the termination of my job. Once we had that done, I was no longer going to be needed because they were consolidating things under one group. So, kind of is what it is. But I knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to help build the most robust systems I could. So I took some time, I thought about it, I prayed about it, and God kept telling me rest. So I did. I rested for a month. That's what he told me. Take the month, spend time with your family. I took the month, I spent time with my family, and by the end of that month, an old contact from the second software, so kind of the software in the middle, who had been in a few of my sessions that I had taught at the convention for that software, reached out to me and said, hey, we're looking at expanding our PLM world. Would you be interested? So fast forward a couple months, back in November, I started working for his company, the company that he works for. It's not his per se. But I started working for that company, and I love it. Still kind of getting up to speed, figuring things out, but I am so excited for the opportunity and for what's happening. So with that, I can start to get back to normal life, not worrying about what I'm going to do, where the next paycheck's coming from, that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's December, so over my shoulder here, you see the snowblower, and we are in the house garage. Most of my filming, I think, if not all of it, has been from the pole barn. It's cold. It's 17 degrees out there today, and I don't have heat out there. I've got a torpedo heater, which if I had that on, you guys couldn't hear a word I said. So we're in the garage that's in the basement of my house. And in this time, I've kind of shifted gears on what I'm doing. Not walking away from the truck. Once the weather breaks, we'll be right back on the truck, hot and heavy. But this year, everything was just such a mess that I didn't spend a lot of time working on the truck over the summer. My dad came out, he was going to work on it, and that entire week it was over 100 degrees every day and humid. The hottest summer time we've had since I've been out here in Pennsylvania for 8 years. After he left, I kind of shifted gears. I kind of started to get into some other things. And that's what I've been up to. So I'll show you a little bit of that. I've been playing with vintage tools. And it's kind of fun. Spend some time cleaning some stuff up, going around to yard sales, spending time with the wife. We do yard sales and flea markets, and we just have a good time. We disappear pretty much every Saturday morning. Even this time of year, there's a couple flea markets open, but mostly it's auctions or hitting up restores, Goodwills, different thrift shops. That's what I did today. Hit up those kinds of places and had to pick up an auction lot that I got. So without further ado, I'll take you guys into that. So one of the things I've done, I picked up this toolbox for free. It was going to get put out by the trash. It's an old Craftsman from the 80s, really nice toolbox. I picked up this wire wheel and grinder. I use it for cleaning tools with the wire wheel. Going to be looking for another couple of grinders that I can put Scotch-Brite pads on and put polishing pads on, so that I can do really good getting these tools all cleaned up. But I've been posting and buying lots. The garage is a real mess down here. It's a catch-all area for the house. Gave my son-in-law my very first toolbox. Picked up this one in a lot. This will probably become I'll take the toolbox off the top. It will become the station for the grinders that'll have the polisher and wire wheels on. Let's cut over here without showing a whole lot of the mess. I've got a bin of tools here these are all vintage, made in America. Stanley hammers, plumb hatchet, all kinds of different screwdrivers, that kind of thing. Wrenches, just if I look at these are all USA name brand stuff. So if I flip it over, you can see that one's a Dunlop. I think I had put a lot of Dunlops on top. This one, mark's a little hard to see, but it's a Vienna Shield, it's a Volchek. And I've got more American-made tools up here that just need cleaned. These are all things like SK, Williams. This one, let's see if I can find it. This one's a Proto. It's lived a life, but it's still a big Proto. It still works. I actually put it on my 3/4 drive and it worked fine. I've got things like an SK set back here. Craftsman set still in the plastic where the plastic needs cleaned. I've got a Craftsman set under there that needs cleaned, a 107-piece set that needs cleaned, a whole bunch of Craftsman sockets that need cleaned. So lots and lots of stuff. I think one thing that's not US I put over here was some Pittsburgh impacts. They were a full set, so they're ready to sell. Now this shelf is all stuff that's been cleaned and taken care of. So I got this really cool old Craftsman miter box and corner clamp. These Stanley Handymans, still on the card with a screwdriver holder. This one I thought was kind of cool. It's a Kmart dual motion sander. Those are some Harbor Freight, Central Machinery or whatever, ratcheting wrenches. US and metric, they came in a box lot that I got. I've got stuff like this guy, that's all Craftsman, made in USA. And then wrench sets. They're all Craftsman, made in USA. Most of those were buried in mud and rust and everything else, and I've polished them and gotten them all in really good shape. Slide some of this stuff back. And here is a plethora of bagged up socket sets, all Craftsman. That's all Craftsman stuff I've picked up. Stare micrometers, brand new Milwaukee tools. I don't think they were ever even actually used, still in the bag. They're part of the lot with that red toolbox with the black box on top. So I've been going through and having fun doing that, getting it all cleaned up, checking it all out. And it's been fun and entertaining, and it's something to do in a heated garage. And then if it's too hot in the summertime, I can be down here doing this as well because there is air conditioning in this garage as well. Eventually this area I'm standing in will get all cleaned up. It is full of car parts and bike parts that all need sorted. So that's on my eventual list. And once I get that all done, this will become a tool workshop. So it'll be all for working on tools and all the things I want to do with tools. Like I said, I picked up this box. Now I have a couple other boxes that I'm waiting to show you guys probably until summertime, out in the barn. These ones up here are all double line V, or some people call them a flying V, Craftsman. That's what all of these sockets are here, and I've got more outside. Then this bag is some interesting metrics, some V series that have none of the little hash marks around this bottom, and then another set that has all the hash marks around the top instead of the bottom. I thought both those were interesting, so I kept them separated. Stuff I picked up at an auction. I got these sets in a bin that cost me $8. These sets here, so much easier to look at it myself. This is primarily a Matco set. Other than this guy is a Mac. That's an entire Matco set. Like I say, both those were in. And then there's some deep impacts that are Matcos. And a couple snap-ons there. And even a Matco screwdriver and a snap-on speed wrench and my busted Craftsman ratchet. That if you guys have a problem with new Craftsman, check them out, guys, seriously. You can see I cut a groove in there to turn it because the switch broke. In a week, Craftsman had me a new ratchet in the mail, and a better one. That's one that came in one of those cheap Father's Day, Christmas type sets. And they got me their latest and greatest, what do they call it? The Overdrive Series 180 tooth ratchet. So I'll be trying that out at some point. This box still needs to be sorted. Those are all Pittsburgh. But here, that's all Craftsman screwdrivers, nut drivers. We throw that on the floor. We got Craftsman ratcheting wrenches, a Chinese, the Sears days, the end of Sears days, these were Chinese produced ratchets that look like they're older ones. And then this is the latest series they've discontinued, the Craftsman V series. Don't sleep on these either if you see them cheap. Some people complain about the back drag on these ratchets. Craftsman's always had horrible back drag. I don't know what people complain about. I got just stuff I've picked up in other auctions and whatever. This is a really cool dog bone. It's just a cheap Black & Decker. It's cast aluminum. And it's a ratcheting dog bone. So I thought that was cool. This thing moves like butter. All Craftsman sockets. These came in an auction lot. Unfortunately, most of them are the made in China ones, but they're part of an auction I won for $10. And they're still lifetime warranty. So if they break, I'll go get a new one. A couple of Craftsman sets I'd picked up. Some breaker bars. Even got a little Craftsman tray. Got a adjustable crescent wrench. Thought that was kind of cool. Have a China hammer. But it works. This is the house box. And nothing really in here. One hammer. So that's this box. Like I said, I'll show you the other ones once the weather breaks. So here's the stuff I picked up today. This is just today. I'm going to go through and start sorting this stuff. And then for you guys, it'll only be a few minutes or a few seconds. For me, it may be a day or two before I get back to you and record all this stuff after I have it sorted. But all of these boxes, that oil jug, and all those boxes over there except for the Craftsman one in the corner and the stuff in the center by that socket box, Came from the same auction that I think was $140 with fees. So not bad. But like I said, I'll go through and I'll sort it. And don't give me crap about putting it on the hood of the Chrysler. I need to buff it anyway. Those are my USA sockets for out in the barn. I went through them all after cleaning sockets and made sure I kept the best ones for me. Here's another peek into some of these boxes. There's a lot of really, really good stuff there. Almost all this stuff is name brand. And then I also stopped at a restore today. The entirety of what you see here cost me $34 at the restore. Everything in here is name brand. So this is Bridgeport, Proto, Brand X. I've seen a couple of those now. I've got one in the bin over there. This one's a single line Craftsman. So it really needs cleaned and it will get that. But where it says Craftsman, there's only a single line. We have a Bonnie, a Williams, and a Barcelo and Buffalo. We have a Shadow. We have a Fuller. Check out this wood handle. That thing looks like it's never been used. And now let's see if we can get zoomed in. Maybe turn on a little light. See if that helps. I have to just pick it up. It just isn't going to want to cooperate today. But if you look at it, that's Mac. So that's from Mac Tools. And then this, which is just one of my favorites. That socket fall over when I was carrying it. That is a full set, 1/2-inch drive. You Craftsman guys, this is awesome. Double line V. So that's like the earliest of this style of socket that Craftsman made. It did have this shoved in there, which is a single line V, the newer V. It's 15/16. But it even has the correct breaker bar with the hole through the side and the double line V. And this thing looks new. It looks like it's barely been used. You can flip it over. You can still really see the detents really well. And if you can see in there, you can see the ball bearing. It's all in really good shape. The piece you never see with these sets, because everybody lost it, is the bar. That goes through the hole here so that you have a leverage handle. Like I say, all the sockets from 1/2-inch all the way up to 1. And still in the original Craftsman tin. Like I said, I got all this for $34. And that was because about half the tools here had white tags. And today was a white tag sale, so they were half off. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all these boxes and start sorting. And when I come back, they're going to be sorted into really cool piles. Like I said, that may take me a few days. But they'll be sorted, and we'll go over what I got and see what my tool haul is. All right, guys. I got through the first round of stuff. Sorted it into some piles so I have a better idea what to do. Having said that, this is the first box. These are all oil cans. And then a saltine tin. And the thing I really thought was cool, if you're a biker or a hot rod guy, you know what Neverdol is. That's an old can of Neverdol. And there's still some in there. I can't get the lid off right now, but when I get a strap wrench on it, I'll do that. And I love these little oilers. I've been picking those up as my wife and I go out, and if I see one for $1 here or there, I'll buy it. So I think I got that whole flat of them was $5 in the auction. So okay, I bought it. They make great barn decoration. These are actually going to come in handy in the barn. They're hose clamp racks, and they have some high quality hose clamps, Gates hose clamps. So there's 2 of them there. I'll hang those up and be able to sort my hose clamps on them. This is the box of throw it away. Bunch of junk. Not much though, quite honestly. As I come over here, this first box, these are all the things that you can read the brand name. So like you can tell those are Fuller pliers, vice grips. You know, this gauge you can see the manufacturer. All these things you can see the manufacturer. They're good, made in USA brands. These are all good, made in USA, more like hand tools. This box back here are rusty and crusty enough that you cannot read the maker marks. So they will be getting some time with the wire wheel. I know that blue pair of handles looks like it should be channel lock. I honestly don't see the channel lock ribbon on it, so I'm gonna get it cleaned up and see what it says under there. There's some household hardware stuff. Those cast iron shelf brackets are kind of cool. A couple Chinese wrenches, some insulated pliers. The other pliers are the ones I had here earlier. This brand new, still sealed Milwaukee bit kit, which I'll put in with that Milwaukee kit that I have. I think I got that box for $6, something like that. So I figured it was a good add to those. I got a tackle box, this box with a few dents and dings, and this file card holder box. Figure they can be cleaned up, and somebody always has a need for boxes like that. All of these saws, I could read the names on. They're all really good classic American name brands from the 40s and 50s. We have some sort of a dial gauge. That's all the pieces of it, and the dial's in a box in the bottom. And this is another box of Keep that you can read the name brand. So like this, you can see it's got the GM logo on it. Looks like it's never been used. We've got Fuller clamps, there's Wright clamps in there, Armstrong clamps. A couple pieces of, I think it's a fire extinguisher hanger right there. Some stuff I'll repurpose, a pair of gloves, some sockets, another socket with an extension. Those are that double line V Craftsman stuff. So some more of that. So all kinds of cool stuff, but we will break this down. And once I get this box cleaned up and I'll know what's what, then we'll break it down and go through, at least in piles. Here's a pile of wrenches, here's a pile of pliers, here's a few of the highlights from them. So we'll go through and do that too. But that is the haul. Old lunchbox still has a thermos in it. It's one of those, let's see if I can open this up real quick. It's one of those ribbed aluminum, polished aluminum thermoses. So that's kind of cool. And that was in with these other boxes here, and a flat that nobody bid on, so I bid $1 and got it. But all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, I didn't show you the blue box underneath. This was in with the Milwaukee stuff. It is a Burnout propane torch with the couple different heads and the flares and all that stuff. So much nicer than the ones that you buy today with the little plastic head, or even the metal head one like I have there. That's the plastic head. So I'm looking forward to using that old school one. Oh, and then the other two pieces that I totally forgot to show you guys. I got these in another one of those $1 bin or $2 bins that nobody had bid on. A couple old school torches. You guys who know me know I've used a million tools. I've never actually used one of those. I've seen them. I've never actually used one, so I may figure out how to do it, or I may just make them barn decoration. We will see. All right, guys. So I am going through the piles. I've set up a keep side. Not everything over here is going to be keep yet. When I get down to the hacksaws, I'm not keeping most of those. This is a fully keep pile. This is going to be clean it, get it for sale pile. Same with this. Still have to go through and identify what those are. So let's take a real quick look on some of the things I've got here. First up, I just thought this one was cool. That's a pretty good size C-clamp for having a break like that, that's going to be a wall hanger. Somebody put their back into that one. Next thing I'm going to keep, I don't have a 24-inch pipe wrench. This one is an improved Stilson. I'm not sure what makes it improved. I'm sure somebody knows. But I do notice it has markings and stuff for how far out you're going. So maybe something along those lines, maybe something in the design. When it comes to C-clamps, I'm only keeping certain brands. So this one is a Williams. And since I'm collecting Williams tools, that's one I will keep. This one is an Armstrong. I'm generally not keeping Armstrong wrenches and stuff, but Armstrong clamps I've always liked. So I'm keeping that. Like I said, we'll go through those saws over there. Some of the other things in my keep pile, this Westcott wrench, it's in pretty good shape. And it's the first one of these obstruction wrenches, adjustable obstruction wrenches that I've picked up. I just think they look neat hanging up. They're good display pieces. All of the vice grips I'm going to keep for now. I'm going to go through some of the ones I have in the barn. Some of these look like they're in better shape. I'll clean up some of the ones I've got in the barn probably and get rid of those. Maybe. You can never have too many vice grips when you're welding and you're doing those kinds of things. So we'll see for sure. No guarantees. I thought this one was pretty cool. This is a Red Devil. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a Union, New Jersey, made in USA. Red Devil scraper. I think it'll clean up pretty well. It's got a little schmutz on the back of it. But it's the plastic handle, so it's not one of the earlier metal handled ones or anything. But it has the whole metal caging around the outside the handle. So it seems like a nice little scraper. I'll keep it. Got a couple of these torch lighters. You can never have too many of those around because you can never find the one you want when you need it. I have a channel lock drawer that I'm starting up because I've got a bunch of channel lock stuff. So I've got these side cuts, channel lock, nice big pair of scissors. These were I don't know if you can see that or not. Looks like it says Justice from Philadelphia, PA. They're nice, good size. We have Craftsman. And another Craftsman. You guys know me, I keep all the Craftsman stuff. That's not all of it, but a pretty good sized chunk. These are Crowders. And I have to thank George over at You Want to Watch. He picks up so much Crowder stuff that now I'm starting to pick up and keep the Crowder stuff. So George, I totally blame me keeping the Crowder stuff on you, man. Look forward to meeting you in person at some point in time. I know you're over in Jersey, not too far away. This is another Armstrong. This is an older one. Look at the way that beam construction is. That's just kind of cool. Just a nice wedge. I don't have a nice wedge to beat on. So there's that. What do we have here? We got a Craftsman 1 1/8 double line V. And it's on a double line V extension. Seen some better days, but I do keep all the double line V stuff separated. Eventually I may do something with it, but we'll see when we get there. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, this is another one, George. Barkalow Buffalo. So again, George, You Want to Watch? You start picking up all this Barkalow stuff. The next thing you know, I'm picking up all this Barkalow stuff because I hear you saying it every 5 minutes. This Craftsman, I did not have one of these. They're not an expensive ratchet. They're made in Japan. They're from there's some of the good Japanese stuff that Craftsman made. Not the later Chinese stuff that wasn't so good. but it's more teeth than the standard Craftsman ratchet, and then it has the thumb dial. A lot of people call this the tri-wing. It's not in too bad a shape. It had a little bit of rust line down the one side, like it was sitting in some water recently, so I took care of that. Got a Williams. This is one of the brands I am collecting. 7/8 and 11/16, and it is the Super Wrench. We've got this one is a Challenger by Proto. So this was when Proto owned Challenger. I do collect Proto as well. This is another Proto. A little hard to see, but it's got the little shield emblem, and it's a Challenger as well. And we've got a bunch more Craftsman double line V stuff. Another double line V. These are some of the interesting single line. So I like to pick these up. They're the narrow body like the double lines were, but it's a single line V and a single line on that side with Craftsman. This one is a VV. I'm not sure that should go over here in the for sale pile. I'm not sure how I put that one over, but I did. This one, oh yeah, this one's one I wanted to show you guys for sure. This one is a Craftsman Vanadium. And you can see, it's hard to see because it's not cleaned up, but the Craftsman line is the underline C, so the C goes all the way underneath the word Craftsman. These were old, and this one, it's got typical mushrooming, but the tip is in really nice shape. These are ones I usually keep when I find them, because you guys know me. It's a little hard to see there, but it's got the Ford script on it. I'm a Ford guy. And also that M in the part number means it came from Moore Forge, which is who created the double line V stuff for Craftsman before their facility burnt. Let's see, what do we have here? This one, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Lighting kind of sucks right now. But it has a Williams stamp there. Again, I collect Williams. That's an old Williams. Have another double line V ratchet. So that goes in my keep. And I'm kind of keeping all the ratchets right now. They're decent ones. And again, I will purge through my ratchets. I have a Craftsman C-clamp. I got a pokey thingy. No naming on it, but you can never have too many pokey thingies. Here's a Barcalow. Again, George. Insulated screwdrivers. I do not have a set of insulated screwdrivers, but I do now. No real branding or anything. It's disappeared over time. I think that one's the one that had the most writing. Yeah, I couldn't come up with a branding on it. This is a Bridgeport, I think. Bridgeport was notorious for not putting their name on, but it's got a patent on it that looks like I could trace it back to Bridgeport. This one you guys won't be able to see till it's cleaned up probably, but it is also a Bridgeport. And the reason that I collect Bridgeports are these. This is what got me into Bridgeports right here. I just think that is one of the neatest looking wrenches with that X and the two darts. They got the patent for this in 1935. I've not been able to find it in any of their catalogs from the 1940 catalog up until the 1953 when they got bought out by Crescent. But I just think that's one of the neatest looking old school wrenches from the 30s and 40s. When a lot of people were making like the Williams, Kind of these, I call these balloon wrenches. They almost look like they're made out of a balloon. You have Bridgeport in Bridgeport, Connecticut, not to be confused with the Bridgeport Milling Company, but Bridgeport making that much detail. So that's the keep pile so far. This is the get rid of pile. All of these things are going to need a cleaning. Got some Craftsman sockets, Ideal pliers. We got this guy. I am not sure what exactly this is, but it is a her brand. It could be something from another tool, like a piece of a tool. I don't see where like a hinge or anything goes on. It doesn't look like it has any clamp marks where it was clamped around anything. So I'm not 100% sure. But it's a her brand. For all you her brand collectors, it might be something out there. These are just interesting. Kind of a novelty tool. I have the Craftsman version. So that'll be in the for sale pile. I've got a Mac tool here. These are some of the neat ones that'll be for sale eventually. This is a Super Ego from Spain, and it's an aluminum pipe wrench. These things are light. They're awesome. This guy, he's a Stanley. And some C-clamps, a Stanley planer, some other odds and end pieces. I'm not going to go through all those in detail. We got more to go through. So we got more to go through. We'll see what else we get out of this pile. And the saws, the majority of these are Miller's Falls. And I actually, speaking of Miller's Falls, came up with a plumb bob that is a Miller's Falls as well. So all these hacksaws will be in the clean it up and sell it pile. So far, that's my keep pile, which is a pretty good size keep pile. We'll see what this yields us. All right, guys. I got through the box that I couldn't figure out what it was. A lot of unmarked stuff and rusted up stuff and that kind of thing. And I did find some name brand stuff. So I found this one, which is a Morforge. So that's going to go over here with me. Found this one. It's really hard to see, but that is the Volchek V in the shield. We have a whole bunch of wrenches that are, I dare to say, unmarked. There are some that are marked. We got like this one is just says Made in USA on this side. But on this other side is Forged Select Steel. I'm not sure if that's a brand name or what that is, but it has that pattern to it. And I find them online for sale, about $8 or $9 each with that pattern. It was in this tray of wrenches. So I'm gonna clean this guy up and I'm gonna try to put a bunch of like wrenches in here. We got some F wrenches or auto wrenches or bicycle wrenches. To me, this is one of the more intriguing pieces. It looks to be some sort of a handle. It's a pass-through on this side. Although it's hard to see. It looks like it has a casting indent there, but it doesn't go through. This end is tapped and threaded. That's real hard to see. This is cast iron. So my guess is some sort of file handle. Something of that nature, but not 100% sure. I got some pliers. These are like unbranded pliers, but there's a lot of really good detail to them. And they're very like nicely made. They're not loose or anything, but again, no branding at all. We've got these guys. So I've not seen this mark before. It looks like it's AETNA. Something like that. So I'm not really sure. this Service. These are a Korean brand. These are another unmarked set of cutters that are real interesting looking to me. They look a lot nicer than being unmarked. And again, they're really tight like the other ones were. Oh, this was a nice set of nippers. So it says LNS, and from what I can find on the LNS, that is Starrett. It's what became Starrett. So these may be very early Starrett nippers. And then we've got, on one side says wire only. This one is really pitted and hard to read, but it is Ideal. There's a lot of Ideal. These are pretty rusty, but they're nice heavy gauge. Those seem to be the highlights. We've got this, KD tools. So a KD. Unfortunately, this is a generic. This one also, this hammer, this ball peen has no marking on it. I went all around the head. No marking at all. It's a green paint. It's really tight. Don't know that it's ever even actually been used because there was a bit of a sticker on it. And then one of the neat things from this group are these stamped wrenches. There's no markings other than sizes, but they're still together. After who knows how many decades. These things are still all together. All the sizes are there. Fairly large, like 9/16 and a half, down to like ignition size wrenches. So I'm not exactly sure what they're for, but I thought those were kind of cool. So that is the haul from the auction, guys. That is a pretty amazing haul. I'm excited to start getting these things cleaned up, and hopefully I'll get some videos maybe of doing some cleaning or showing you guys some of the outcomes. We'll see how that goes.